Okay, you guys are being called to write your own story. And I can't even make it up as. Okay, okay. So as I was walking up here, I found I'm staying in a hotel right now, and somebody left a notebook. And I woke up this morning hearing the song Love Song by Sarah Bareilles, where she's basically being asked to. Well, okay. This. Okay. Bear with me. I have ADHD, and so much is coming through, but the story about Sarah Bareilles, I think, is very beneficial to this message that I'm getting. So when she was signed to her record label, pretty much all of her songs were not about love. They were just about things that she was feeling and the world that she was seeing around her. And she didn't have a single song about love. And the record label was like, hey, in order for us to sell you and kind of market you, we need a love song. And that well, it just really kind of annoyed her and upset her because she didn't want to write a love song. She wasn't in love at the time. She didn't want to sing about love. And so then she wrote Love Song. I'm not going to write you a love song just because you asked for it, just because you need one. And the song isn't even about love. It's literally about her not wanting to write a love song because she didn't want one on her album. But she was being told that she needed one. Her record label was telling her that she needed one so that she could relate to the female population, right? She needed a love song. And there was something about you needing to write your own story, whether this is actually writing a story or if this is just you needing to be creative. If you are like writing lyrics, if you're a poet, something like that, or if you're an author. Even if you're just an artist, the message is that you need to create your own story. Whether that's through art, through words, performative dance. If you want to write a play, I actually randomly met two people who are writing plays. So there could be something about that. And both people were really struggling on not knowing if they could actually find an audience who related to the material that they were creating. And the message is, don't write something just for an audience. Don't write something just because you want it to be successful and you want it to connect with other people. Write what you know. Write what is coming to you. Write for yourself, okay? Don't write for other people. Okay, write for yourself and the right people will find you. You're doing this for you. You need to write your own story. And there is something in that Sarah Bareilles story. It's just, if you are being told to create something that doesn't feel right, maybe doesn't feel natural, just isn't sitting well with you, the message here is not to do it, right? Tell your own story, whatever that is to you. Because it's like you have a passion project and maybe you're being told to go in a different direction because it's not as marketable or something. And there are so many stories like that where people kind of create or have this great idea and then they're told to just completely switch it around due to this idea that it won't be as successful, because it won't be as relatable to females, to males, and that's like the sole focus of the creative process. And the message here for you is to completely ignore all of that, okay? don't write something just be don't write something just because you want it to find the right audience, okay? Write your own story and the right audience will find you. Okay. I feel like I over explained that. I'm sorry, but it was just kind of crazy. I came up here, found this place to sit at, and somebody left a notebook. You need to write your own story, whatever that is to you. And there was also a message of your story might be really difficult to tell. It seems as though your story is not one of unicorns and rainbows, right? It feels like you've gone through it, right? This could be a series of traumatic events. This could be your battles with substance abuse, mental health, past family trauma. It just feels like it's not going to be an easy story to tell, right? Just because it's not going to be easy to tell doesn't mean that you shouldn't tell it. And I think it can be extremely therapeutic to actually face the demons within you and actually talk about them. And knowing that your story, once it's put out in the world, can help millions of people. Yes, it's very healing for you, but you have no idea the amount of lives that you can touch just by saying and I just feel like a lot of the time we feel like we're in this alone. We forget that millions of people have gone through exactly what we are going through. Even if you have been through something extremely traumatic, and you're looking around you and everybody else seems to be doing just fine, and you're just like, why the hell did that just happen to me? And you feel like you're going through it alone, and you have no idea that millions of people all around the world have gone through the exact same thing, if not, having gone through something even worse. And you just telling your story can not only be healing for you, healing for other people, but it can actually connect you with your soul tribe, people who can truly see you for who you are without having to hide behind a mask. Finding people who understand the words that you're saying. Sometimes just saying things out loud can sound crazy, especially if these are things that happened in our past. Sometimes our mind creates coping mechanisms, or for example, for me, something traumatic happened in my childhood, and my brain convinced myself that it was a dream. And it wasn't until I was an adult and started therapy that I had to come to terms with the fact that no, it did happen. It wasn't a dream. That was just my way of trying to protect myself. And it is a coping mechanism that I carried throughout my entire life, right? It's kind of crazy how incredible the mind is. And when something happens to me, even as an adult, I can convince myself that it didn't actually happen. And that is my way of surviving, right? Is my mind convinces me that that wasn't me, that was somebody else, or that was just all in my head. It's almost like I completely gaslight myself. But so these things aren't easy to come to terms with. There's no easy place to start. You just have to start, and this notebook is completely empty. It's telling you to start. It doesn't have to be perfect, okay? There was also a message of uh, wanting to be original. And your own words are original. You do not have to think too hard about that. Or did that make sense? It's almost that feeling of I can't say it. It's already been said. Um, or wanting your story to be fully original to your own voice, which can be really difficult since there are billions of people all around the world trying to do the exact same thing. And you're like, what's so special about me? And that's not even so much is special about you, so much is special and unique about everybody. That is not the point here. The point is that you need to get out of your own head and start creating this thing that you want to be seen by the world. Even if it is hard, okay? Life is hard. We're all in this together, and it's so refreshing when you hear people actually being honest and coming to terms with like these things that have completely shaped their lives, good or bad. We love hearing people's stories. It's just we you know we love to hear it. We love connecting with people on those deeper levels. It just takes that one person to be courageous and come forward and be like, okay, I guess it has to be me. And it feels like that person is you, and it shows you being very successful, okay? It shows you being extremely successful. You just have to pick up that pen. Okay. But so do not, and I keep thinking of Sarah Bareilles. Also, very random, don't be afraid to like switch up mediums. Okay, I thought I heard somebody. Don't be afraid to switch up mediums. Sarah Bareilles was a songwriter, and then she switched over to writing Broadway musicals. Like, don't be afraid to like switch things up. If there is something you are very passionate about, and it shows you being so passionate about this thing, don't be afraid to switch it up and try out new things, because you never know what you're going to find through the artistic side of it, but also like in ways of you being able to express yourself. Even if it's not your strongest suit, like that's not the point of this. You're doing this for yourself. You're not doing this to impress people. Okay, you will impress people by just being yourself. You do not have to think too hard about this, and you are going to find your people. You're going to be celebrated for this. You're going to reach people you never thought that you would ever reach. Dang, you guys. But there was, I was also feeling, writer's block. You need to get out of your own head. You need to get out of your own way. But it wasn't just writer's block because you have nothing to say. You have a lot to say. You have a lot to create. You know what you want to do. You could live in California. I don't know why. I'm so ADD. This is awful. Writer's block. This isn't writer's block because you have nothing to say. You have a lot to say. This is almost writer's block because you're afraid of your words not being perceived in the way that you want them to be perceived. But once you realize that you are doing this for yourself, that fear will disappear because you're not doing this to impress the world. You're doing this to tell your story. And the celebration will come afterwards with the people who will find this project of yours. And in the many ways people will relate to this, that will be your success. Did that make sense? It's almost, I was also thinking of Hamilton when he goes, who lives, who dies, who tells your story, you know? And the idea of if you don't tell your story, somebody else will, and that story will not be correct. It'll be somebody else's version of your story, and that's not what you want. You want your story to be told in your own words. So pick up the pen and write, or sing, or create. Pick up your paintbrush. Tell your story, okay? The world is ready to hear it. I'm gonna leave it there. I love you guys. Bye.